Broadcasting live worldwide. Welcome.
Are you ready? Welcome. Señoras y señores, welcome
a Diálogo con Luis Otero. So welcome to another episode of Dialogo with Luis Otero. This is your host, Luis Otero. Thank you so much to everyone that have made the podcast, one of the top podcasts, news and interviews in the United States. Thank you so much to all of the thousands of people that they've been writing and they have been listening. We already have reached over 150,000 listeners. So I want to say thank you so much to all of you. And please follow us and just subscribe to our YouTube page. We have over 105,000 subscribers. Go to YouTube, put the Luis Otero podcast and just subscribe and just put that notification bell, and as well go to Instagram to my page, de Luis Otero, TheLuis Otero, and go to dialogoconotero.com so you can stay up to date with the Luis Otero podcast and Dialogo with Luis Otero podcast. You can listen to that there, and as well in more than 27 platforms: iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio app, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher.com, and Spotify, and many more. So I want to say thank you so much to all of you. Today I have a special guest. I'm going to tell you very quickly the story. I interviewed this amazing actress a few months ago when she basically debuted in this amazing series that we're going to talk about today. And what happened is that my hard drive dropped and I lost the interview, and I didn't have a way, and I basically didn't have a face to basically talk to her publicist to have her back again, because the interview was so great, and I lost the audio and the video of that interview. But she is extremely kind today to allow me again to have the opportunity to interview her and have an interview that I think that is going to be way better than the last time. This amazing actress have acted in amazing projects like Jane the Virgin, in Canal Street, Mayans MC, The Grey's Anatomy, and she recently had an amazing role in On My Block, the series that is in Netflix, On My Block, as Cuchillos. I have the pleasure to have again in Dialogo with Luis Otero, Ada Luz Pla. Ada, welcome back to the Dialogo with Luis Otero. It's a pleasure to have you finally again, so we can have this conversation again for everyone.
Thank you for having me again. Like I said, it's gonna be better. We're just gonna have fun.
No, it's gonna be better, and it's crazy because it's been a success. I really enjoyed a lot. I enjoy really a lot on my blog. My Lord, what a really great role. It is amazing because we talked last time. Your story is amazing, right? Because you're married to the amazing comedian, Doug Williams. By the way, everyone go and check Doug. Doug is an amazing comedian. He's awesome. I'm a big fan of his material. And Ada, you became a mother, and you dedicate yourself to be a mother of your two amazing boys. And then now you have taken your career by storm. So talk to me a little bit.
It's my second act. Yes. It's my second act. I mean, I moved to LA from New York, from the Bronx. We talked about it before.
Sure.
To pursue my career in the arts. And I had a great momentum starting out.
Sure.
And then I became a mom, and even though I still work, and continue to work, whether it was voiceovers or independent films. So I took a back seat and learned about producing so that I can be home with the boys while they were young. Because we talked about how my husband is a stand-up comedian.
And he's always traveling. Yeah.
He's always traveling. So somebody had to stay home with these babies.
Sure.
Somebody had to be, mom, dad, and do the PTA and, making sure that they were raised. And, I made that conscious decision, and I have no regrets because that was my journey. Everyone has their journey, and that was mine. My boys are both teens now. I have my oldest son is a junior in high school. He's very self-sufficient. He knows what he wants. He's very grounded. I have to follow in his lead. And my younger son just as well. He's about to go into high school. So, it's time to get back to mom. And I'm very old school and very traditional. So when I told my boys and I told my husband that I was going back full-fledged and full on, I talked about it with my agent, and we all decided that I was going to, just go for it. I asked their blessings because for me that was important. And I know that's a little bit, very.
But it's correct. I will do the same thing. I will do the same thing. I will ask my wife for the 2 kids. I'm like, can I do an example at the podcast, and can I start this and see where it goes? And she was, yes, I fully support you. Having the support of your family is extremely important, and I think that really shows in the security, or basically that confidence to go to a casting, knowing that they support you, and it makes a difference.
It does. It does. Yeah, no, absolutely. I just, and on top of that, I don't want to hear it when I told you, you gave me your blessing. You told me that it was okay. So I don't want to hear it. If I have to go to Canada now or whatever, so. Sure. I mean, no, but all joking aside, it's a family affair, and that was important for me, that I had my family's support.
No, definitely. And I can imagine, being a mother, obviously, we dug on the road, and obviously now with this situation that we are living, it's just crazy, because I think that people have watched more on my blog now since the pandemic. And even it charted. It was in the top 10 most watched shows of Netflix for, I think, more than 2 weeks, and it's been amazing, because just watching you in such a predominant role, but not only that, like bringing your best and just owning it, like you own that role. Is different than just acting the role, but you own the role, and really you can see the passion, and everyone can see the passion that you have for acting, and you made it your own. And I really love the series, well written, and your role was great. The experience I can imagine the set, seeing all the characters, it had to be a very awesome set to be recording.
First I have to thank, the fantastic cast, crew, the producers, everyone involved in making On My Block. On My Block was already a staple even before the third season. They have the most amazing, loyal fans.
Sure.
And I've been really humbled and very grateful that they have, embraced me as part of the family, as well as everyone on set. So it made my job a little bit easier, because, when you're walking into a set that is already established and so well established, you're sort of intimidating. But it was, I felt the opposite. They gave me nothing but love. And the character was so well written, and a breath of fresh air, because
it is.
Everyone was anticipating a man, and Cuchillos ended up being this really fearless woman who is, who is a drug lord,
he's powerful,
dominating the world that's usually dominated by men.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. It was amazing. But it was all love. It was great. They gave me free reign to really play, to really bring it.
And that's the beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, because they let you be creative. I always have the mentality that you gotta like the actors or actresses or comedians or whoever is in the set to be creative and let them flow. If they need some guidance, they will, you coach them, but don't, what I say to like directors when I have talking to them, it's like, you let the actors or actresses just do their own thing, because that's what they do best. And they let you do that. And look how amazing role you had, and you had a lot of fun, and it's been great. The numbers are being ridiculously amazing. I mean, you come from, doing Grey's Anatomy last year, that setup, that have to be an amazing.
That was a dream come true.
Yeah.
It was directed by Debbie Allen, who she had me way before fame.
Sure.
I am such a huge fan of. I started out as a dancer.
Sure.
So anybody that knows me knows that I was a dancer first. So the movie Fame, was just so endearing to me, and to actually be directed by her and to work with her was a dream come true. So let me just say how I knocked that right out of my my bucket list.
No, it's awesome.
So
It is awesome because you come from like doing Grey's Anatomy, and then you do On My Block, and then before that you did Where We Go From Here, and those projects really have put you like, now you're on the map. Like, now you are like, you're ready to like to go big. Like it is, because I think, yes, it is the truth, because just making it your own and just having such a great role. I think that the phone, as already, I think that they're opening the studios very, in the next week or so. I think that the phone should be starting to ring, and you should be involving other projects. What is in the pipeline right now, Ala? Because I know that you have been in such amazing projects, including the Jane the Virgin Telemasivo VP, that used to be a powerful woman, because you come with a powerful pedigree. In every single role that you have, the Telemasivo VP in Jane the Virgin, that was an amazing. This was in 2016, and then you had Canal Street, and then you had like Where We Go From Here in Grey's Anatomy and On My Blog. You do like powerful, strong roles, and you do amazing with them. What do you have, plan, or what are you looking for, in the next roles that you will have? Because I feel that they have to cast you for meaningful and amazing roles for Ada to come at its best.
Right. It's funny. I was just having this conversation with my agent yesterday, and we have some strategies, and some things that are planned. Before the pandemic started, I was scheduled to come back on a show. And I can't tell which show that was,
and that's
so
fine.
We don't know which one.
We respect confidentiality, and that's the good thing about it.
Right. I can't talk about
Sure.
it, out of respect for everyone, but
Sure.
definitely, we always want to make sure that we are following protocol.
Sure.
But it looks like we're going back on set within the next couple of months. I don't know what that's going to look like.
That's cool.
Are they going to put us up in a hotel and then we have to quarantine all
Sure.
together? We don't know what that's going to look like, but definitely, God willing, always God first. You're going to be seeing more of Ada. My husband and I, we have a production company running the streets. I'm not running the streets. A DNA Media Productions.
Yeah.
That's one of our shows, is running the streets.
Yeah.
So we are getting ready to hopefully sell one of our projects. One of the things that this pandemic has been able to do for us anyway, not only get closer to God and family, and really just take some time to reflect and enjoy having dinner together, because we've always been so busy that we never really took the time to really just enjoy, enjoy.
Yeah.
With the fear and the uncertainty, there came some solace and some serenity in family. So we definitely want to make sure that we keep that has become sacred to us. But also just working on the production full-fledged. We've gotten some projects that it appears that are gonna finally see some some light. I always say, you plant your seeds and you water them, and in due time, in God's time,
Sure.
when your journey says that's when it's going to start to grow and see you the fruits of your labor, that's when it is. And it looks like that our fruits of our labors are starting to blossom.
And I'm a very spiritual guy too. My house, obviously, God's first too, and in your house the same way. And everything in your career is being in God's time. Look, you were a mother full time. You take care of your kids. You instill those values. You were able just to be a mother. That is one of the most respectful, incredible roles that a woman can have. Right. And then in God's time, look what have happened. Then you have all these amazing roles, and you have done it incredibly. The same thing with Doug recently, and I follow you guys on social media, and you guys were like, we're having our first lunch after all this craziness, and it was beautiful to see, because you guys took the time to take the kids out and just eat. And you said like, and you mentioned it like, we take it for granted, and those small things sometimes, and the time that you spend on the road, or maybe just recording, or traveling, now you're able to just say, okay, how we can strategize to as well produce content, because you guys are creative and amazing minds in the business, to as well
Thank you.
know where your career is going to go.
Right.
So it's very interesting. It's very interesting where you guys are going. So if you can talk a little bit more, where the production company is gonna go, and what kind of like content you would like to produce, if you can talk a little bit without just spilling anything. Where do you see the company?
No, absolutely. My husband and I, we believe in inclusion and diversity. I think that in order for us to see projects and content in the light that we want to be seen, it is our job to create it.
Sure.
So what we are trying to do is make it. Well, our company is based on complete inclusion. So the projects that we do, whether they're comedy, dramedy, drama, or whatever they are, they're definitely filled with diversity. Right now we have domestic Doug, which was chosen for the Omni Cultural Television Festival for the 2021 now. In fact, they featured us this week. They have a pre segment for all the people that are all the producers that have been accepted to the festival. Sure. Mm-hmm. This is loosely based on our story.
That's beautiful. So, how was that experience to having your story being told?
Yeah, it's a colorful one. It's a very colorful one, but it talks about many different issues that we as Black and brown people do not talk about. One of those things is discussing therapy, and certain cultural issues that we face that we don't deal with. We sweep it under the rug. I mean, I remember growing up, my mother was big on lo que pasa en la casa se queda en la casa. Yes. I think my mother coined that term and Vegas took it.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever happens in the house stays in the house. Sure. You don't talk about it. You don't deal with it. It just, you bottle it. And you man up and you continue with life. And so a lot of times, and cultural, we have so many beautiful cultural aspects about our lives, but there are certain things that we can improve on, right?
Always.
And so we discuss that. There's some culture clash. My husband is Black American, I'm Caribbean. There's definitely that culture clash. With he grew up in a household that was very small, whereas I grew up in a humongous household that, I always say that my house was like Grand Central Station. It was like coming and going. It's like a revolving door. Family members were always staying with us,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I used to always have to have family around me because that was how I was raised, so, and then the comedy aspect, being a stand-up comedian, there's that whole B story about what it's like to be a person of color in the comedy world and how difficult that is. So it's been a labor of love, which I hope that, this life lessons and growth. I watch Euphoria with Zendaya.
Yep.
And I think it scared the living daylights out of me because these are things that we don't know that our youth are going through today. And when you start to shed light on this,
sure,
it's so controversial and you think that, wow, how could they, show this on the air? But as a mom, I didn't know this was going on in these schools.
Yeah.
This is important. You have to start shedding light so that we can start having these discussions so that we can start healing.
Yeah.
And learning how to be able to deal with them. So, that's one of our babies. We have some other projects that I'm not at liberty to talk about.
Sure.
That I'm just so excited about, but that was, one of a few.
one of a few. And that's one of the things that really, that's the beauty about creating content. I think you find fulfillment, you heal in the process, and having your story being told of you both, two amazing human beings, two amazing professionals, two amazing creative people like yourself, Ala, and Doug, great comedian, you great actress, producer, writer. Really you heal in the process, because you maybe talk about things that you never talked before, and then when you talk about them and you tell that story, you grow with it. You heal, and it's a healing process. It's therapy. It's by itself, it's therapy.
It really is. And then you start to see, we are all part of the human race. We're all human creatures,
all of us.
I don't care what race you are. Sure. We are all God's people. And we might have cultural differences, but we're still part of one race, and that's the human race.
Correct.
And we all go through very many similar issues.
Sure.
But I think that the more we start to see the inclusion, and our stories being told the way we want to tell them, the more I think people are going to start seeing that, wow, we're just human beings.
Yeah.
It's just human behavior,
Correct. No, definitely. I agree with you. And I was talking recently to Ben De Jesus, director.
I love him. Yes,
yeah, Ben, and we were talking about creating content because, and how important it is for the culture, and not only the culture, but just the entire world, for actresses and comedians and actors and producers to be able to create content, because I feel Hollywood is too controlled. And this is my own opinion, is to control. No worries. We're live here. No worries. So, but it's to control, and by being to control really limits the amount of people that they let in. And I think that really, having professionals like yourself, and Doug creating content, and many others will help broad the space, and you can start with a production company, then eventually you become a channel, an online channel, and then an online channel, you're part of like a online carrier of video streaming channels, and I see that that's a very positive, because you will give opportunities to people that maybe are not being able to get in, that they have the talent, but maybe they don't have the connections just to get into the industry.
Right. I think you're absolutely right. I also think it's important that we start being that force in teaching our next generation to be as knowledgeable in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. And I'm talking about men, women, the LGBT, I think the more we have to be able to be the driving force behind these stories, so that we can tell those stories, in the way we want to tell them, because can't nobody tell your story better than you.
Correct. I agree completely. Yep. I agree.
So I'm big on letting, the youth know, hey, in fact, my husband and I, we have a nonprofit organization called DNA Media Young Filmmakers, with an AZ at the end. And what we do is that we give them internships, paid internships. We give them scholarships. We give them credit. We help them to build resumes. I cannot tell you how many resumes that I've helped our youth build, so that they can actually get a job, at Warner Brothers. We talk about time management. We talk about the importance of always being the first one there. Just so many life lessons in terms of being able to work in the business and conducting yourself in a professional manner. If you decide that you want to go and, drink with your friends, the night before, or, smoke or whatever it is that you're going to do and party, but you have to be on the set because you're part of the grip or whatever at 5 o'clock in the morning, then maybe you need to reconsider that.
No, correct.
Right.
It's wonderful that you're giving back. Like giving back it just feels that hard, feels you, as a human being, and you both, having this nonprofit organization, DNA, Young Filmmakers, correct? Filmmakers, yes, correct. With AZ at the end. We'll love, we'll love to, if you can let us know or just give us more info to see how we can get involved or support this amazing, initiative, because I feel that it is so wonderful what you said. Being the first one there, but just having the responsibility, carry yourself with respect, professional,
Right.
just conduct yourself, how you can talk to an executive and what things they're looking for, how you can, at the end of the day, we're a product of the shelf. And I don't like to say that sometimes, but it is the truth when you're definitely looking for a job or a career, and you have to conduct yourself in the best way possible. And just those things, you're teaching those things to the new generation. It's just wonderful because it will create that work ethic to just exceed in anything
Work
that you
ethic is so important. Early on when my husband and we started this company in 2010, and our sons were babies, so whenever we would shoot projects, we would have them on set, not just to hang out, but I would, have them being in charge of craft services,
Really?
make sure that you're bringing water to the people, or have them, holding the clapper, or, sign people in, just so that they can see that it's not just about the glitz and the glamour, but it's a lot of work, and you have to love it. Do what you love and love what you do, and you'll never work a day in your life. That's my motto.
No, definitely. Just we're closing the interview here very soon, but what message do you can give to all the fans and people that they have supported your career, and that they have watched you on my blog, and what you would like to say to them, and what they can expect from you very soon, because you're rolling soon. We don't know where, in what series. I'm extremely excited, I gotta say. But what message you would like to give them? The mic is yours, so you give them whatever you want.
First and foremost, what I'd like to say is thank you. Thank you for embracing me. I am eternally grateful and humbled. I come from humble beginnings. And I always put God first and foremost, and then all the other things will follow. And like I said, do what you love and love what you do. Become knowledgeable in what it is that you want to do, and just have fun. If you're not having fun, then maybe you can consider doing something else. But above all, put God first. And you'll be happy. I keep my life simple. I keep it simple. I don't need a lot.
Sure.
But the things that I do have, I'm grateful for. I'm always grateful, and humbled. That's it.
That's a beautiful message from the amazing Luz Pla. Is Cuchillos on my blog. Go now and stream it in Netflix. It's an I gotta say, it's a freaking amazing series where she owned the role, and it's a tremendous role that she took to her heart, and she made it from hers. And a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for giving me the time to speak with you today. Thank you for just representing us, in the highest level, in the industry. Send my regards to Doug. I need to have Doug in this podcast soon. The
next one, absolutely.
I need to have him soon. Yeah, and definitely, where people can go and follow you on Instagram. What is your handle, so in that way everyone can go into your Instagram?
So I keep it simple, on my social Instagram, on Instagram and all my social media platforms, it's just Luz Pla Williams or Luz Pla, so keep it simple.
Just definitely follow Ada, so you can stay up to date with all her projects.
Yes.
And you can know more about Ada. She's an amazing actress, amazing mother, amazing wife, and definitely she's representing us very highly with so much passion and respect to our culture. So I want to say thank you again, Alan. For everyone that are listening, please follow us in all platforms of podcasts. Download us. Keep supporting the podcast of Dialogo and the Luis Otero podcast. Go to my online website of Dialogo con Otero so you can listen to it. And we definitely will be glad to have you back here, Alan. You are more than welcome anytime to come here and promote your projects.
Always. Gracias.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next time in Dialogo with Luis Otero.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye bye.